जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद जय जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद। निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल। जयं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्री श्रीमद ऐसी भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी शिल प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तबिंद की नमाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि श्री गौर भक्तबिंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्री पुरुषोत्तम समाप्ति की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति सपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदं सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी शोभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दिनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिस्वरूप दामोदर स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्सद्भक्तमनये मुनिपर उद्भवाय च प्रभुपादलसद्पाणि प्रचार निरतायते। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमाचार्योपादाय निताय कृपा प्रदायिने गौरकथा धामदाय नगरग्रामतारिणे। नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्तदशता। Hare Krishna. Thank you everyone for coming. I am little sick, so please bless me so that I can speak few meaningful words for your pleasure. So I think two texts are written here. One. Which one written? Okay. And we'll read from 26 and 27. Okay. "26 I can read myself. tathāpi nāthamānasya nāthaya nāthinam nāthaya nāthitam parāvare yathā rūpe jānīyāṁ te tadrūpiṇaḥ." Translation. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all. Then text 27. Please repeat after me. Yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanam yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanā yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanā. Please. yogena bṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan ātmanam jāthātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanam ātmanā yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanam ātmanā. Matajis. yathātma-māyā-yogena nānā-śakty-upabṛṁhitam vilumpan visṛjan gṛhṇan bibhrad ātmanam ātmanā. Anybody else? Word meaning. Yathā, as much as. Ātma, own. Maya, potency. Yogena, by combination. Nāna, various. Śakti, energy. Upabṛṁhitam, by combination and permutation. Vilumpan, is a matter of annihilation. Visṛjan, in a matter of generation. gṛhṇan, in the matter of acceptance. Bibhrad, in the matter of maintenance. ātmanam, own self. ātmanā, by the self. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. And please inform me how you, by your own self, manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance by combination and permutation. Purport. The whole manifestations is the Lord Himself by diffusion of His different energies only, namely the internal, external, and marginal, just as the sunlight is the manifestation of the energy of the sun planet. Such energies simultaneously one with and different from the Lord, just as the sunshine is simultaneously one with and different from the sun planet. The energies are acting by combination and permutation, by the indication of the Lord, and the acting agent like Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva are also different incarnations of the Lord. In other words, there is nothing but the Lord, and still the Lord is different from all such manifestive activities. How is it so? Will be explained later on. So, here Lord Brahma started asking questions and is expressing his feelings and his statements to Vishnu after seeing, because Krishna showed him the spiritual world. When Brahma performed tapasya, austerities. Austerities is very important. Without austerities, spiritual progress is not possible. So when Brahma, as a result of his austerities, when Krishna became pleased with him, he sanctioned the vision of spiritual world. Brahma could see spiritual world, and after seeing spiritual world, he composed Brahma Samhita that we still today we get that book which is written by or spoken by Lord Brahma, Brahma Samhita. So beautiful, so beautiful. If you read Brahma Samhita again and again, you will find in a nutshell everything is there. All conclusion of scriptures are there in Brahma Samhita in a nutshell. Everything is in a very lucid and simple language, but in a very accurate and very clear manner. Brahma has explained, he has narrated the reality of the spiritual world. Practically speaking, all conclusion in a very clear manner you will find in Brahma Samhita. So that Brahma Samhita was composed after realization, after seeing Vaikuntha. When Brahma could see Vaikuntha being blessed by Narayan, when he could see Vaikuntha, then he wrote that. So after that, Brahma started offering his prayer and questions and his feelings. He started expressing from these verses, few verses. I think he started from Brahma Uvacha, started from the last verse, that is text number 25. From there Brahma started speaking, and today's verse is 26 and 27. In spite of that, my Lord, I am praying to you, and in spite of that, to understand, in spite of that, you have to see text 25. Lord Brahma said, O personality of Godhead, you are situated in every living entity's heart as the supreme director, super soul. And therefore, you are aware of all endeavors by your superior intelligence without any hindrance whatsoever. So as he is sitting within our heart, as super soul, the Lord is sitting within our heart, he knows everything directly, he knows everything. So in spite of that, you know everything. In spite of that, I am praying to you to kindly fulfill my desire. So I have some desire. What is the desire? May I please be informed how, in spite of your transcendental form, you assume the mundane form, although you have no such form at all. You don't have any mundane form or material form. Now you may ask, we have deity form made of stone. How come it is not mundane? And even when Krishna takes incarnation, sometimes it appears to be mundane. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took incarnation, in many places it looked like mundane. He was evacuating, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was evacuating. So only mundane body can evacuate. Spiritual body doesn't require evacuation. So many things. Even when Krishna appeared, sometimes in the battlefield, sometimes blood was oozing from his body. So from spiritual body, blood doesn't ooze, doesn't require to ooze. So in this way, sometimes even if you incarnate, it looks like mundane. And what to speak of deity form? Deity form is completely, we see, made of stone, made of soil, made of pepper and color, so many things, deity. There are 8 forms, I think. What are these? Shaili, Darumoyi, Lohi, Leppa, Lekha, Chai, Shaikati, Monomoyi, Monimoyi, Pratima, Ashtabidha, Smrita. Shaili made of stone, Darumoyi made of wood. Shaili, Darumoyi, Lohi made of metal like iron. Lohi, Leppa made of clay. Lekha, painting. Leppa, Lekha, Shaikati, even you can make with sand. I think gopis, they were worshipping Katyayani. and they are using sand. So by making with sand also sometimes you can make some deity. Shaili darumayi loihi lepa lekha cha shaikati monomayi. In mind, you are in such a place, you don't have any ingredients to make deity. Suppose you are in aeroplane or rocket, you cannot make any deity, but you can make deity within your mind. Monomoyi. Monimoyi, you can make deity with costly gems. Monimoyi. So in this way there are 8 types of, generally 8 types of deities you can make, and we know all these things are matter. They are not spiritual. Even mind is material. As long as we are in this material world, our mind is material, intelligence is material, our false ego is material, everything is material. So within this universe, everything is material. And when you incarnate either as deity form or as Krishna, Ramchandra, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, apparently looks like these are all mundane form. So Brahma is asking these questions not for only for himself, but also for all of us. There is a great controversy among the followers of different religions. Some people worship deity, just like we followers of Gauriya Parampara, followers of ISKCON, we worship deity. But there are many other groups. In some group, just like in Christianity, they worship Jesus Christ. They worship Jesus Christ. So it is a kind of deity. Those who are following Buddhism, they worship Lord Buddha, kind of, a deity. They are offering so many things to Lord Buddha. The highest, controversies they are with the Muslims. They will not accept deity. Not even a picture. So that's why you don't find any picture of their gurus, like Nabi. You don't find their pictures. Very rare. Of course, nowadays in Google you can find. Otherwise, they are never making any picture of their gurus or Nabis or, picture of God, Allah. They don't make any. They are against. They are telling it is impossible and it is a great offense. Sometimes they say it is better to kill human than to it is better to kill a human than to destroy a murti, an image. If you destroy an image, there is no sin. But better, suppose my son, somebody told me like this, if my son is worshipping deity, I will kill him. One father told, if my son is worshipping deity, I will kill him. So that means killing a man is not a problem, but for destroying a deity for them, they are destroying so many deities, many times you will see in the history, and they openly declare, yes, we don't support deity worship, and if there is deity worship, we will destroy. Many countries they are doing this, especially in Bangladesh and many other countries. They are destroying deities. Pakistan, they are destroying deities. So there is controversy, great controversy. Those who think God is impersonal, they will not tolerate deities. So Brahma is asking a question not only for himself, for all human beings. After all, be a Christian or Muslim or follower of Sanatan, you are a human being. So this question is meant for all human beings. Lord Brahma is very clearly asking question. Sometimes you assume mundane form, although we know you have no such form. We know you don't have any mundane form, because mundane means inferior. You don't have such form, but we see you are assuming this form. Your deity form is mentioned in different scriptures, like Gopal Tapani Upanishad, deity form is mentioned. In the spotless Purana, Srimad Bhagavatam, there is Uddhava Gita, one complete chapter from first sloka to last sloka. I think it is in 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where the full complete science of deity worship is mentioned, isn't it? In Srimad Bhagavatam, Amal Puran. So it is mentioned in scripture, so that means it is fact. You assume deity form. And deity form apparently looks like completely material. And that is the advantage taken by the non-believers. They say, your deity falls from your hand, drops from your hand, and sometimes breaks. Deity cannot protect himself. And your deity sometimes standing and so many mosquitoes and flies are sitting on his face. We never see deities removing those flies, isn't it? So, looks like mundane. So, Brahma's question is very interesting question. And Lord will answer this question in the following verses. So, the answer is that actually in the following verses the answer will come. There is nothing beyond me. Krishna says, there is nothing beyond me. Everything is, in the first verse itself, Krishna says, aham evasam evagre nannajjat sadasat param paschadaham jodatascha javashishyate sasmi aham. Everything is I. I means the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I. Aham evasam eva agre. Even before creation, I was there, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aham evasam eva agre. Aham evasam eva agre. Na annajjat sad asat param. Whatever is manifested and unmanifested and beyond that, even before that I was there. Paschadaham, and after annihilation, whatever remains, that is I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That means everything is God. But at the same time, in the following verses, Krishna says everything is not I. Everything is I and everything is not I. So immediately we'll start shouting, you said everything is I, and again you are saying everything is not I. That's why achinta. Achinta means inconceivable. God's potency, His activities, everything is inconceivable. These four verses contains achinta bhedabhed tathā. Achinta bhedabhed tathā. Everything is God, everything is not God. Even in my body, my whole body, my name is Premanjan, isn't it? So I consider this, as long as I am in bodily concept of life, the whole body is Premanjan, isn't it? What about my hair? What about my hair? Is it Premanjan? I cut my hair and throw. Oh, Premanjan is there, lying on the road. No, I am not my hair. I am not my hair. Everything is me in one sense. In another sense, I am not everything. Isn't it? The best example I feel is the sun and sunlight. Sunlight is sun or not sun? What is sunlight? Sunlight is sun or not sun? See, everything is, sunlight is sun, because it is part of sun. So sunlight is sun, there is no doubt. But at the same time, when sunlight enters into my room through windows, if I start shouting, sun has entered into my room, sun has entered into my room, what people will think? They will think this man has become mad. Sun is there in the sky, millions and trillions of miles away from my house, isn't it, from my room. And you are telling sun has entered your room. Where is sun? Where is the sun? You see the sunlight. Yes, it is part and parcel of the sun, but it is not the sun also. Simultaneously one and different. Achinta bhedabhed. Similarly, this deity form is achinta bhedabhed. Even incarnations like Lord Ramchandra, Lord Krishna, when they incarnate on this planet, these are also at the same time, they are non-different from Krishna, and at the same time, Krishna is separate from that. Simultaneously possible. Prabhupada has given so many undeniable examples. Prabhupada said one example I like very much, that if you make a piece of iron red hot, now if I tell you, this red hot iron Is it fire or iron? Is it fire or iron? Answer, please answer. Not iron. It is not iron. Do you think there is no iron really from your heart? Do you believe there is no iron? Iron, but fire also. Fire also, iron is identified with fire. Iron is identified with fire. Proof, yes, I touch this cloth and this cloth will burn. Iron cannot burn a piece of cloth, but how the cloth is burned? Because there is fire. So they have become identified. Similarly, the deity, yes, it is stone, but at the same time, when it is spiritualized, some or other, by your love, the iron can become spiritualized, the stone can become spiritualized, then it can act spiritually. Material things are limited, but spiritual things are unlimited. Either be personal or impersonal. Even personal things, unlimited, if it is spiritual. Personal, material, limited. Impersonal, material, limited. Impersonal, spiritual, unlimited. Prabhupada used to tell a very nice story that there was a small child. I think all of you have heard these stories many times. A small child was going to school every day. A small child was going to school. So one day there was some festival in the school. The headmaster, the principal, asked all the students to bring something from their house. Either some fruits, some rice, some dal, whatever you can, you bring from your home. So there was one boy was from a poor family. He asked his mother, "My dear mother, my teacher asked me, our headmaster asked to take something as a gift for the festival." So mother said, "You can do one thing. In the forest there is your brother, Madhusudan. Madhusudan brother is there in the forest." So mother thought, just to solace the boy, you ask your brother to give you some gift. So that gift you give to your teacher. So the boy, the story is long story, I am making it short. So the boy was passing through the forest, and in the middle of the forest he started calling, "My dear brother Madhusudan, my dear brother Madhusudan, can you please meet me?" So Madhusudan means Krishna. And because that boy was a very simple-hearted boy, and he was really calling with full faith, there was no tinge of doubt. He was calling with full faith. So Krishna came. "Why are you calling me, my brother?" "No, my teacher wanted some gift for some festival. Everybody is carrying some gift from their house. So if you kindly give me some gift so that I can give to my teacher." So that Madhusudan Dada, brother Madhusudan, he gave him a small pot of yogurt, mishti dahi. You understand? So he was simple-hearted boy. He was very happy, and he took this yogurt, very small amount of yogurt. Then he gave it to his teacher. Immediately the teacher became upset. So many students you can see. Are you so poor that you cannot purchase at least 1 kg of this mishti dahi? You got only small amount of mishti dahi. Then, being little angry, he dropped that mishti dahi on the ground. And he saw that earthen pot is not broken, and dahi came out. Understand? Full amount of dahi came out. And he saw that earthen pot is again filled up. He became curious. It is not following Newton's law. So he took up that pot, and again with his own hand he removed all the dahi, all the mishti dahi. Again he saw filled up. You understand? He tried for 4 or 5 times. 4 or 5 times it was filled up. So then he became very surprised. In my whole life, I have never seen such a thing. "Hey, where from you got this dahi?" "No, my Madhusudan Dada has given me." "Where is your Madhusudan Dada?" "Just now, take me to the where you go, where you see Madhusudan Dada. I want to see your Madhusudan Dada. So with this pot in hand, he started walking toward the same forest where he met his Madhusudan Dada. So then again he started calling, Madhusudan Dada, my dear brother, my headmaster has come to see you, to meet you. So he was shouting for some time. After a few minutes, Madhusudan Dada came, and the boy started laughing, hugging, but the teacher could not see. The teacher could not see. Now, the question. For the teacher, God is personal or impersonal, formless or with form? For the teacher, formless. For the boy, for the child, God is a form. Simultaneously, God is form, God is formless. And the Jagat, if it is spiritual, it is unlimited. If the Jagat is spiritual, it is unlimited. And if the Jagat is material, it is limited. Isn't it? So, everything spiritual is unlimited, everything material is limited. And at the same time, God can be personal and impersonal. God can be full of forms and without forms. For the teacher, God was formless. For the child, God has form. So what is the truth? Truth is that God has form and He is also formless. Now there is a question. What is superior? Form is superior or formlessness is superior? Just like, say, the sun. The sun has a form, circle, isn't it? And sunlight is formless. Sunlight is formless. So sunlight is depending on the sun, or sun is depending on the form, on the sunlight. What is the real answer? The circle, sun globe has a form. It is depending on the sunlight, or sunlight is depending on the sun? Sunlight is depending on the sun. That means formlessness is depending on the form. Formlessness is depending on the form. Everywhere you see this tube light. Tube light has a form or not? It has a form. But its light, no form. Its light has no form. So tube light, the origin has a form, but its diffusion, its energies has no form. Similarly, Krishna is the origin. Krishna has form, but his bodily effulgence has no form. Bodily effulgence has no form. But formlessness is depending on the form. That is what is also Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita. What is that verse? Brahmanahi pratisthāham amritasya abhaisya ca sasyatasya ca dharmasya sukasya ikantikasya ca Brahmanahi pratisthāham. I am the foundation of impersonal Brahman. I am the foundation of impersonal Brahman. So, if people ask whether God has form or not form, answer is that yes, originally God has a form, but his energies, parasya shaktir, bibhrad visṛjate, his energies has no form. But at the same time, God can spiritualize his energies. God can spiritualize his energy. Just like iron, a piece of iron can become fiery. With the help of fire, piece of iron can become fiery. Similarly, a piece of stone can become spiritualized with the help of all-powerful God. If you say it is impossible, that means God is very weak. If you say it is impossible, that means God is very weak. He is not all-powerful. If He is all-powerful, nothing is impossible for Him. Nothing is impossible for Him. And we have seen in His pastimes. That's why you have to hear His pastimes. When Ramaharshan Sutta was giving class, Bhagavatam class, Balaram appeared. And Ramaharshan Muni, he thought, I am the speaker. and there are so many thousands of listeners sitting. So general rule is that the speaker, he doesn't leave his seat to offer respect to others, isn't it? It is a general rule. But when Balaram came, Balaram is none different from God. He is the original personality of Godhead, none different from Krishna. So you are reading Bhagavatam, you should have understood that this is God. If you don't have understood, that means you are not qualified to read Bhagavatam. So that Ramaharshan did not understand that Balaram is God. Maybe understood but did not give importance. So Balaram wanted to give a lesson to all human society. So he came near. All the Munis, they stood up. All the Munis showed their respect to Balaram. They stood up. So Balaram understood. These listeners are more qualified than you. They understood that I am God. But you are reading a book about Bhagavan and you don't know who is Bhagavan, then you are not qualified to read this book. So he came near and he took one piece of dry grass. So dry grass is all powerful or not? Dry grass, generally. Dry grass is all powerful or not? Dry grass is, practically speaking, there is no life, it is useless, it is completely dry, it has no power, it is powerless, practically speaking. But Balaram took this dry grass and tossed it on Ramaharshan Suta's head, and Ramaharshan Suta, he got a thunderbolt. You understand? He completely died. So how the dry grass was, what is called, energized. It was electrified or it was spiritualized. How? Because if God is spiritual, if God is all powerful, He can empower even a dry grass. He can empower a piece of dry grass. So if He can empower a piece of dry grass, and if you say, no, I don't believe it, that means you don't believe that God is all powerful. You don't believe that God is all powerful. In one side you say God is all powerful, another side you don't believe. That means you are atheist. We, the follower of Vaishnavism, we believe God is all powerful. And in the deity, God can electrify, God can spiritualize the deity form. God can walk in the form of deity. Just He walked in the pastimes of Sakshi Gopal. Isn't it? And God can do anything. He did a beautiful thing to reciprocate with Madhavendra Puri. He stole a piece of pot of condensed milk. So God can spiritualize the deity form. So then He is all powerful. In one side you say God is all powerful, another side you say this murti is not God, or at least God cannot enter into this murti. Pravesh Nishad. Pravesh Nishad. Pravesh Nishad, there is a signboard in Bengali. Pravesh Nishad. And what is it? No admission. So if a dog comes, if there is Pravesh Nishad, dog cannot enter. Isn't it? Is dog all powerful? A thief comes, Pravesh Nishad, thief cannot enter. He is a thief, all powerful. You may say Krishna is also a thief, but he is all powerful thief. He is all powerful thief. If you write a signboard, no admission, it is not applicable to God. So in front of a stone deity, a deity made of stone, you put a signboard. No admission. It is no admission for me, no admission for you. But it is, admission is open for God, because He is all powerful. So it is a simple science. It is a simple science to understand that Krishna can spiritualize a deity. Now whether He will spiritualize it or not, it depends on your devotion. It depends on your purity. It depends on your sincerity. If you are a sincere devotee, pure devotee, God can spiritualize deity form. If you are not qualified, even if there is Lord in the deity, He can live. He can live the deity. So it is possible, both way it is possible. By God's will, it can act like material. By God's will, it can act like spiritual. And God can spiritualize a deity form in such a way, sometimes it can manifest more power than he manifests himself. Sometimes God manifests more power in his devotees. I give the example of Hanuman. He crossed Indian Ocean how many times? 4 times. 4 times. First time to take information of Sita. Second time to take Gandhamadhan mountain. No, after information he came back. Second time. Then third time to take Gandhamadhan, he went to Himalaya. Then fourth time he came back from Himalaya. 4 times. Total 4 times. Of course, he did not return that Gandhamadhan. It is still there in Lanka. I heard like this. So, 4 times Hanuman crossed ocean. But Ramchandra could not cross 1 time also. He had to walk. He needed a breeze, pull. Isn't it? So, who is more powerful, Ramchandra or Hanuman? Hanuman is here more powerful because he was empowered. He was empowered. So if Krishna wants, he can empower a deity. If Krishna wants, he can empower an incarnation in such a way. There are so many empowered incarnations. Even Prabhupada himself is an empowered incarnation. Sometimes empowered incarnation can perform more activities than God perform himself. It is not that God cannot perform, but he gives more credit to his devotees simply by empowering his devotees. Similarly, God can empower his deity form. That we must understand. It is a simple science. There is no scope of doubt or misunderstanding. God can empower a deity form. In this way, we should have full faith. Yes, in this form of deity, especially when it is established by our acharyas. And in this deity form, God can do so many things. Now the question is that, okay, then why he doesn't stay personally? Because we are not qualified. We are not qualified to receive his personal appearance. Pandavas were qualified, he was meeting with them. Prahlad Maharaj was qualified, he appeared even from a pillar to bless Prahlad Maharaj. We are not qualified, but we are qualified to see stone. We are qualified to see stone. So, it is authorized in the scripture. Yes, you can make my form in the stone. You can make my form in the stone. So it is authorized in the scripture. In Satya Yuga, they could meditate so deeply that they did not require deity. They could see the deity within their heart and they could speak with deity within their heart. So in Satya Yuga, they did not require. Treta Yuga was also rarely. Ramchandra was every day coming to give darshan to all the people of Ajodhya. One time Ramchandra went to somewhere for 7 days. And one Brahmin, every day his habit was, after seeing Ramchandra, he would take his breakfast. But 7 days Ramchandra was not there and he was fasting for 7 days. When Ramchandra came back, somebody informed him that your devotee is fasting for 7 days because he could not see you for 7 days. Then Ramchandra himself made a deity of him and gave to that Brahmin and told, whenever I am absent from Ajodhya, you can see my deity form. If you want, you can offer something. And in this way, you can see me in my deity form. But it was very rare in Treta Yuga. Satya, Treta, Dwapar, it was the main worship of deity. But in Dwapar Yuga also, deity could very easily reciprocate with the devotees. They would speak, they would laugh. These deities in Dwapara Yuga. In Kali Yuga, it is very rare cases that devotee can speak with the deities. But the science is there. If you are qualified, the deity will speak with you. Depends on your qualification. So, it is very scientific. It is not that that ISKCON is establishing something unscientific, fanatic. It is not like that. There is science, logic. Nobody can, my conviction is that nobody can counteract this logic. Thank you very much. Only 5 minutes are left. If you have any question, you can ask.
Hare Krishna, bro. Thank you for the class. Here in the translation, it's said that manifest different energies for annihilation, generation, acceptance, and maintenance. So, Prabhu, what is this acceptance?
I know the question because it was my question. So I am asking all senior devotees, if you can explain this word acceptance. I was trying to hide myself, but you are so intelligent that you captured me. Anyone can explain this word acceptance? We know annihilation, we know creation, srishti, sthiti maintenance, pralaya, annihilation. But what about that acceptance? Krishna is accepting our offering. This is one explanation. You know any other explanation? He accepts, okay. Nitai Chandra Nimai, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, you already told about the acceptance. The Lord has entered into this material universe. At the same time, has not entered. So,
but acceptance, the word acceptance, shikar.
I understand, like accepting means Lord has entered into this universe.
Entering into this universe. Anyway, we have to research more with the explanation of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and others, what they have given explanation. Today I could not manage time to see Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Okay, thank you for the question. At least I request all of you to make a small research to find out what is the meaning of this acceptance. Okay, any other question or comment? No more question, comment? We have time. Why should we misuse our time? No, still Purushottam month is going on. Okay, Bhagavan Prabhu is asking question on Bhagavan.
There's a lot of injunctions in worshiping the deity. For instance, in the 8th canto, it's stated that when you cook for the deities, you can only ghee should be used, and oil is never recommended in making preparations for the deities. So someone might think, well, I don't want to use ghee. I'd rather use oil. So in this way, that injunction isn't followed. So is there some limit to how many injunctions in deity worship you have to follow that can be neglected and then still the deity will be Krishna?
As far as I understood the question, that all preparations should be cooked with ghee for deity. There should not be, oil should not be offered to the deity. Is it the point, Prabhuji?
The question is, is there some point where the deity, if we don't follow the guidelines for worshiping the deity, is there some point where the deity just quits being Krishna and leaves the deity?
Actually, in previous ages, people would follow Krishna's order. Just like Nanda Maharaj maintained how many cows? 9 lakhs cows, Nabalaksha Dhenu, 9 lakhs cows. And the milk produced from those 9 lakhs cows could not be finished by drinking. So he will not throw that milk. He will turn it into yogurt, doi. But that doi could not be finished by eating. So then he will not throw that doi. What he will do? He will churn it and may turn into butter. But that butter could not be finished by eating. So he will throw that butter? No. He will turn it into ghee. But that ghee could not be finished by eating. So Ghee was used for jagga, for offering lambs, also for cooking. In those days, people did not use mustard oil. You understand? It is for very poor people. You understand? In those days, there was no cloth factories, shoe factories. People had cow factories. Factories means not for slaughtering, but for producing milk. And people used to cook only with ghee. They used to worship deity only with ghee, jagga with ghee. And nowadays, people has become more economic. No, don't waste ghee, don't waste ghee. When you are doing jagga, you are wasting so much ghee. But in Satyayuga, everybody was doing jagga, everybody was using ghee in the jagga, using ghee in cooking, you understand? So in those days there was no problem because people are following Krishna. You want to become industrialist, open Goshala. Produce unlimited ghee. Use ghee only for cooking, only ghee for worshipping deity, no mustard oil, not even til oil. You understand? Only ghee. And in Treta Yuga, 25% following Krishna is reduced and also production reduced. In Dwapara Yuga, 50% gone, and in Kali Yuga, 75% gone. Even 25% production is diminishing day by day. So people are taking shelter of mustard oil, people are taking shelter of til oil, this oil, that oil. You understand? Ghee is becoming a dream. You don't get ghee. What you get in the market is dalda or some vegetable oil. I purchase ghee for this Purushottam month, but when I take ghee, I should not mention the name in the class. It is a famous company. So when I smell, I get coconut oil smell. Coconut oil smell. So that means if my nose is not damaged, they are mixing coconut oil with the ghee. Understand? So pure ghee has become a dream. Only if you maintain your own cow, you produce your own ghee, then you can get pure ghee. This is the only option. Anyway, so Prabhu's question is very relevant, that what we should do. Of course, you can manage pure ghee, that is the best. If you cannot manage, Krishna will accept your devotion, that's all. You understand? Because sometimes Krishna can accept something which is not so good, but if your devotion is good, Krishna can accept. If you are unable to maintain the standard, at least Krishna, I don't have option. I could not manage pure ghee, so whatever I managed. Still, in the scripture it is said, til oil is better than mustard oil. Mustard oil is the worst. So first option is ghee, second option is til oil, third option is mustard oil. At least in India, this is like this. I don't know whether I got the point and I answered your question. I don't know. Hare Krishna. Any other time is over. So maybe after class I will stand outside this Vishashan and you can ask question or comment. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Samavata Vaishnava Bhakta Vrinda ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.